questions.
All right. It is another episode of Kandid Kisses TV. I'm Michelle C, and I'm here on another Motivation Monday, and I'm here with the one and only. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Alisha J with Church Girl Reality, Church Girl Makeup, and the Motherhood Foundation.
Now, are all those your social media tags, or you want to go ahead and knock those out now?
Those are all my social media tags. You can find me at Church Girl Reality on Instagram and Facebook, Alisha J on Twitter, and Church Girl Makeup and the Motherhood Foundation on both Instagram and Facebook.
Okay. So we're going to get into this really quick.
Awesome.
Now, I know you as a makeup artist.
Yes.
But clearly you just had motherhood and you had all those other dynamics.
Yes.
So I'm going to dive into that a little bit later. But first and foremost, what made you want to get into the makeup artistry field?
So it's really, my story is not like a lot of people's story, because a lot of people are like, oh, I used to play makeup when I was a kid,
right.
Or, you know, my mama did hair, and then I worked at the salon with her, and then, you know, I was surrounded by it. So I did have an aunt who was a beautician.
Okay.
And when I was growing up, I told everybody I wanted to be a beautician, a nurse, a doctor, and a singer.
So all of them. Okay.
All of them. So in some regards, I have kind of dabbled in all of them. But the way that I got into makeup, because I was that girl in high school, if it took me more than 5 minutes to put on makeup, I was like, that's way too long. Like, I just pop on some lip gloss and
that's it.
I'm done. And I used to make fun of the girls who took that long. So
okay, and now you're full glam.
Now I'm full glam. So
okay.
Now I'm the girl that takes an hour and a half to put on a full face.
Mm-hmm.
But I was 16 years old. This was the first instance. I was 16 years old, and I was working at this company. They did like corporate frames for corporations like Michaels and all kind of stuff. And so I worked in one department, and one day I was in the lunchroom, and this black guy comes in, and he just starts talking to me. I've never seen him in my whole life. Like, we've never run into each other. And so I'm like, okay, and, you know, I'm 16, so I'm just kind of like, whatever, this dude. And so he was like, what do you want to do with your life? And so at that time, I was like, I'm going to Emory University. I'm going to be a doctor. I'm going to find a cure to cancer. Like, I had it, like, laid out. I knew exactly what I wanted to do. And so he was like, you remind me of my wife, who also, you know, majored in chemistry and was a doctor, and he was like, yeah, and then she started doing makeup. He was like, you remind me of her, and I think that's like the direction you're gonna go in. And of course, you know, I'm 16, and I'm like, nah,
you don't know me.
You have no idea who I am. I'm going to Emory. I'm going to be a doctor. I'm going to find the cure to cancer. That was ABC.
I said what I said.
Exactly. That's exactly what's gonna happen. And so, years later, I started getting into makeup. My mother, when she first started preaching, she had a lady come in and do her makeup for her preaching engagements. And then when she used to, the Stellar Awards used to be here in Atlanta.
Right.
And so she used to do seat fillers.
Okay, right.
And so she would do her makeup then. And so I would start watching her, and I was like, oh, that's pretty interesting. Again, not, you know, like, okay, I gotta get my hands into it.
I maybe can do this, but, you know.
Right, yeah, so simple stuff. And so then when I got to college, you know, MAC became something interesting to me, so I started using MAC. The girls like would come to me and ask me to do their eyes or do a little bit of makeup for them, so I started doing that.
Okay.
And then just continued to get into the makeup, and it just kind of was like, okay, I'll see, blah blah blah. And then all of a sudden I got into a little bit after college, and I was like, okay, let me get more into it. So my friends started asking me to do their makeup. My mom was asking me to do her makeup. And again, you know, I didn't have no real kit. I didn't know
you put piecing it together.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know about brushes and all this other stuff, but you know, I was just doing simple stuff. Finally, I met Alex Butler. She was doing, Alex Butler, celebrity makeup artist. She's like Missy Elliott's head makeup artist right now. Right. So she is killing it out there. I'm proud of you, Alex. I love you, girl. And so I met her. She was doing makeup for my cousin's wedding.
Okay.
And so she did the whole bridal party, and I was just
watching
by herself.
Okay.
And I watched her the entire day, and I was like, I can do this.
Right.
I can absolutely do this. And so she became my mentor. Okay. And what's so crazy is before that instance happened, I went to this church called International House of Prayer.
Okay.
And it's IHOP for short. So every time I say IHOP, people are like, you went to
exactly. I mean, yeah.
Pancakes, and I'm like, no. And so the International House of Prayer, they have a prophecy room. And this was my very first time going to the prophecy room. And so I went with my friends Destiny and Carlton, who are now married and they have kids. I think they had one kid at the time. And so went to the room and I'm like, this is weird. So it's two people, and I've been prophesied to, so it's not like, that part was weird. It was just, the setup was a little different. And so you go into the room, and in this instance, it was two prophets in the room. Sometimes they'll have 3 or 4 prophets, could be 5 prophets. And they still do the prophecy rooms, by the way, if y'all ever want to go. It's in Lawrenceville, International House of Prayer. You can sign up on their website, I believe. And
they don't ever visit the South Side?
Sorry. They're on the north side. I think it starts at 3 o'clock. So if you sign up, you can, you have time. It's on Sundays. Okay. And so went to the International House of Prayer, went to the prophecy room, had the 2 prophets sit in. It was like a guy and a lady. And the lady had a cold. And so the guy is just prophesying, and I'm like, yes, everything he's saying, he's talking about music and all this other stuff. And I'm like, yes, that's it.
That's
yes.
all in line with what I said.
All in line with, what the Holy Spirit is telling me. And then the lady starts talking, and she's like, I don't know why I keep seeing this, but I see you as a drawer. And I was like, no, I don't draw. Like, that's not my thing. Right? And so she had a cold, and so I was like, well, maybe because she has a cold, maybe she's a little foggy, and maybe there's like some interruption here. So and of course, I know how the spirit realm works. So Christian people, before y'all get on me and get super spiritual, I know how it works. So that was a joke. But so she was like, yeah, I see you drawing. And she was like, no, I really do see you drawing. And so, it wasn't until years later that I understood what she was trying to say.
Yeah, drawing on faces.
Drawing on faces, right. Right. And so I was like, oh, that's what you're talking about, God. Like, okay, I get it. So after I accepted that prophecy, because you can be prophesied to and not accept it, right? And so until you accept it and accept what the Word of God has, then you can go run with it. Right. And so, I began to take classes with Gwyneth Mosby, wonderful lady, by the way.
Gwyneth is the OG of makeup.
Yes, OG, y'all. You need to take her class. If you have not taken any of her classes, go sign up right now.
And PMAC is coming up.
PMAC, so make sure yes.
April 25th and the 26th.
Yes, please make sure you go. Sign up for that too. It's amazing. That was the original makeup show here in Atlanta before before the makeup shows started coming. So y'all better be out there, okay? So started getting involved, of course, following Alex and taking her classes and making sure I kind of kept in touch with her. And then I met Cynthia online and Scooby West and
Scooby West. I don't think I've heard of him.
Yeah, Scooby. So he does a lot of bridal and editorial, beautiful makeup. So and many other Soretta, and Nisa Green and a lot of celebrity makeup artists. And so I was just kind of like, this is my thing. Like, I love this. And so like when North Costco has their meetups or the engineer guy has their meetups, and I'm like, yes, I just feel like
you're first in line now.
My creatives. Yeah, I love it. So and I've met so many wonderful makeup artists along the way, including yourself. And so, I just, again, I was not that girl that wanted to do makeup. And then, now I'm in it and I'm like, wow, I'll sit and watch for hours,
right, different techniques. You're like, I wasn't even going to do this, but
now I'm thinking, and then like, I didn't even think outside of the box of makeup, like special effects is makeup and, all those kind of things. So being able to learn more about the business and, kind of just dive into it even more outside of just bridal and editorial and prom. There's so much more than just those things. And so,
absolutely.
I'm constantly learning, and I think that's so important for any entrepreneur, whatever your thing is, to always be learning something new.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, that answers that.
Yes. Long story short. Sorry.
Now, my next question was, how did Church Girl Radio start for you? What inspired that?
So, makeup, actually.
Oh, okay.
So, at the time, before I got the actual radio show, with foxtrapradio.com, I was doing like these little reality type situations for YouTube. Okay. And I called it Church Girl Reality. So
Gotcha.
like, you know, kind of the struggles we go through as Christian women, trying to figure out like, you know, I've grown up in the church, so how do I balance this, you know, Christian life with secular, you know,
right.
being in the world but not of the world. Like, how does that look now in 2018, 2019, 2020? And so I was doing those videos, and so I did a concert. I got hooked up by Miss Shannon. I think, Trey Golden.
Okay.
She couldn't make it, and so she contacted me and asked if I could, or contacted Shannon, and Shannon had contacted me. And so I went to it was for the Sheldons. I did their makeup. It was 2 young ladies in their group. It's like a brother-sister group similar to the Waltons.
Okay.
The Waltons, yeah, Waltons.
I know you're talking about.
The Walls group. There you go. I was like, I know it's not the Waltons.
Right.
The Walls group. And so I did their makeup for their album release party. And so I met Miss JJ at the event, and she was just like so impressed with my, you know, my work ethic, because I stayed the whole time, and you know, just kind of made sure everybody was okay, you know, didn't complain, wasn't a diva. You know, that's important, guys, you know, as a makeup artist, that you're humble, because you never know who's watching. And so Miss JJ, she was like, "What else do you do?" And I was telling her about the YouTube videos that I was doing, and then of course I told her I did makeup. So you know, most of the time when I give my card away, I really don't expect people to call me back. Like, I just, you know, it's just the nature of the business, right? And so she called and she was like, "I have a photo shoot I want you to do." And I was like, "Okay." And of course, you know, I live on the north side. Everything, I was driving down here, I'm like, everything I do is like on the south side. I'm like, I can't.
So welcome. Just come on over. It's calling you.
Apparently.
It told you to come this way.
Like, except for my church. My church is on the north side, so that's kind of like.
But it's only once a week.
No, it's not once a week.
Oh, okay. Well, for most, it's once a week.
It's once a week. I'm there 4 times a week.
Okay.
So it's like, so I do split my time between the north and south side. So maybe somewhere in the middle, we'll work it out. So she was like, you know, I have this photo shoot, and I was like, okay. So I came and did the photo shoot. Again, you know, these are the things that you do. Sometimes you do things for free in order to open up other doors.
Right.
So makeup artists don't feel like you can't do something for free. Because I know, like, Soretta taught us this. She said, you know, there were some things that she did for free still.
That's how most makeup artists start. Like, you have to start somewhere to get into the door.
Exactly. But be very particular about what you
don't
do
waste your time.
Don't waste your time, because, you know, there are some people who will take advantage of you for sure.
And they say, "Oh, can we just tag you on Instagram?"
No. No.
Georgia Power does not accept Instagram tweets or nothing else. So.
Exactly. These bills still coming.
Amen. Okay.
Did the photo shoot, and then she was like, "Oh, I'm doing this show. I want you to come do the makeup." So again, I went out and I was like, okay, I did the makeup. And so while I was doing the makeup, she was like, "You know what? Why don't I just give you your own show?" Because you told me about Church Girl Reality, and I was like, okay. So I'm like, okay, God, I don't know why this door is like super open, but
I'm pulling up.
I'm going for it. Right? And then I was like, you know, I went to the Lord and I was like, I didn't ask for this, so I don't really know what to do with it.
Right.
You've given it to me for a reason, so I need to know, you know, how to navigate through this. And so, you know, my first couple of shows, I didn't really know what direction to go in. So my very first show was makeup. So I had Miss Gwyneth and Lady de France, Ebony and her sister were on, and we kind of did a tutorial, you know, for Valentine's Day, because it was the weekend before Valentine's Day.
Oh, because you did it live too.
Yes, it's live. Yeah,
gotcha.
So my show is live, and so I was like, oh, okay. So, you know, as we've grown, you know, I've had more conversations that are, you know, more relevant to what's going on now, and then, you know, also bringing a lot of, you know, the shows that usually get the most views are the ones where, you know, relationships, we're talking about relationships and stuff. So we've done that, but I made it very important to make sure that I offer Christ at the end of my shows, because I just really don't know who's watching.
That's right.
Because, you know, my show, the Fox Sharp Radio, is it broadcasts in over 130 countries. And so I was like, this is a great opportunity for me to do missionary work without having to leave Atlanta. So,
That's true.
yeah, so I'm like, if I have this platform, why don't I use this platform to go ahead and share the gospel of Jesus when I can?
That's right.
And so, you know, even though my show is not 100% like preachy,
Right.
I still make sure that, you know, the word is in there at some point in the message. So that's how I got into Church Girl Reality Radio. We've been going strong for 2 years, and so I don't know where God is going to take us for the next next iteration of Church Girl Reality, but I'm enjoying it right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So now, what was one hard lesson you had to learn in the entertainment business? I know I had a lot of them. So, what about you?
God. Don't wear yourself out.
Okay.
Trying to chase the dollar. Because you'll find that you'll be disappointed a lot if you don't exercise wisdom in where you go. So be strategic in what you do. Because when I went out there, you know, I put in a whole lot of money. I think I did one show and I spent a whole lot of money on makeup and ended up not doing makeup and ended up doing hair. And so, yeah, so it was like, it was really weird.
Right, this was not what I was here for.
This was not what I was here for. So, you know, just making sure that you're strategic, don't overspend, invest in your business as much as possible. And I know it's kind of difficult when you're doing makeup 100% and not doing another job. For me, I'm vocational. I have 4 jobs. So, because I have a job that pays the bills, and then I have jobs that I'm still investing in until they can pay the bills.
Right.
And so, it can be very tiring. It can be exhausting. And so finding that balance, I think, is very important. So don't overwork yourself, because you still need to be able to be available to your family and friends.
Yes, and enjoy life.
Exactly. And go on vacation and have a relaxation.
Ooh, what's
day.
a vacation?
I know. Every day I'm
Those
like,
were the
I
days.
need to take a vacation.
Those were the days.
I need to take a vacation.
Okay. Sooner than later, but I'm gradually working on that vacation.
See, right, exactly. So, you know, but yeah, finding that balance and just making sure that you don't wear yourself out. I think one day I woke up in the morning, I was like, I'm exhausted. And I looked at my schedule and I was like, you're the reason why you're exhausted.
You brought this to yourself.
You did this to yourself. So, you know, you can't blame anybody but you. So, yeah, so definitely make sure that you really do take a breath, a moment for yourself as much as you can.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Now, what are some words of wisdom that you would give, or words of motivation that you would give anybody that's trying to get in the entertainment industry?
Keep going, because there are going to be moments where you want to shut everything down.
All the time.
Yeah. They're absolutely going to be, because like last year I was about to shut down everything. Church Girl Makeup, Church Girl Reality, everything was about to be shut down. I was going to go on a whole...
Throw everything in there, like, you know what?
Like, done. Like, I'm so over it. But yeah, making sure that you just don't give up on your dream. Because there will be mistakes, there will be setbacks, there will be moments where you're upset.
All the time.
So just keep going. Don't be discouraged anytime you run into a roadblock. Always have a plan B. And if plan B doesn't work out, find a plan C. I say pray about everything, because God will not give you gifts and talents and things and ideas if he doesn't want them to come into fruition. I also want you to also know that even if you have the vision, that doesn't necessarily mean that you run with the vision. Sometimes the vision is for somebody else to run with. So ask God, is this the vision that I'm supposed to birth, or is this something that somebody else should birth?
Well, that's what they say. They say pray about everything, worry about nothing.
Exactly.
So.
Absolutely.
Now on Kandid Kisses TV, we have a little segment.
Okay.
It's called Kiss or Diss.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to throw out some celebrity crushes. And you're going to decide who you're kissing and who you're dissing.
Oh gosh. Ooh.
All right.
All right.
Our first one. T.I. or Chris Brown? Who you kissing? Who you dissing?
Oh, that's hard. Okay, so I would probably, Lord help me, because I'm ATL, Georgia born.
All day.
I'm gonna go with my homeboy T.I.
Okay.
And I'm sorry, Chris Brown, but I'm just gonna have to pass on you, bruh.
All right, next one. Morris Chestnut or Idris Elba? Who you kissing? Who you dissing?
How you put both the chocolate
I'm
brothers
saying.
in the same category?
You gotta pick your favorite chocolate. You want milk chocolate or
I'm gonna have to go with Idris because Idris he's got that like.
It's the accent, ain't it?
Yes,
Lord.
That accent throws you off every time. Yeah, Morris, I'm cool. We cool, but I'm sorry. I'm gonna go with Idris.
Last one. This is a little bit harder.
Forrest
Forrest Whitaker or Morgan Freeman? Who you kissing?
You know what? I'm gonna go with Morgan because I love me a good spoken voice.
Okay.
Morgan always has like the best spoken voice, so I would go with Morgan Freeman. I don't know. Forrest doesn't do anything for me.
I'm sure proud Morgan do anything. But if you had to choose one, well, this has been another episode of Kandid Kisses TV. Go ahead and shout out your Instagram and everything, how they can follow you again.
Okay, so again, on Instagram and Facebook, you can follow me at Church Girl Reality, Church Girl Makeup, or the Motherhood Foundation. And then on Twitter, I am Alisha JMUA.
All right, we will see you next time.
Bye.
Talented entrepreneur doing great things in the community, need exposure? Kandid Kisses TV is the answer. Email kandidkissestv@gmail to get started now. Kandid Kisses TV is sponsored by Kissable Lips Cosmetics.